Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. I am Zesty. This channel is all about living your life creatively, so I love to post DIYs and recipes and content to inspire you to create. Today I have a really fun recipe for you guys. I'm going to show you how to make these cheesecake chocolate covered strawberries. Yes, these are cheesecake flavored, chocolate covered strawberries. My cousin actually messaged me this week and said, why don't you make some chocolate covered strawberries for your channel? And I was like,
I love chocolate covered strawberries.
if you end up liking this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of me, then definitely subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into the video. I started off with 2 pints of these beautiful and ripe strawberries. The first thing I did was soak them in a water and vinegar solution for 10 to 15 minutes. So this solution is gonna help kill any mold spores, and it's gonna make your strawberries last longer. And don't worry, they will not taste like vinegar at all. I then drained and dried these on a kitchen towel. I also blotted them with some paper towel to get rid of excess moisture, and then I just left them to air dry. I then prepared my crust topping with 4-gram crackers. I put those in a food processor and blitzed them up to powder them. I also poured in 1 tablespoon of melted butter to give them that cheesecake crust feel. This doesn't seem like much, but you don't want oily crumbs for this, so 1 tablespoon is enough. I then poured my crumb mixture into a bowl and mixed it up with a spatula to make sure the butter was well incorporated. So traditionally, you would temper white chocolate to produce a toothsome snap and shine, but my method is a little different for this recipe in particular. I did melt the chocolate using the double boiler method to avoid the risk of my chocolate seizing on me. If you've never used this method before, you basically want to bring some water to a boil, turn the temperature down to low so that it can simmer, and then place a heat-safe bowl on top where you will melt your chocolate. I used good quality white chocolate chips for this recipe. You can use a white chocolate of your choice, but I would stay away from candy melts as those will not taste as good. Once my chocolate was almost fully melted, I added 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. I find that traditional tempered chocolate tends to crumble and break off the strawberry when you bite into it. By adding the coconut oil, the chocolate will coat the strawberry really well and stay on the strawberry without crumbling after biting into it. After my chocolate was fully melted, I set up a tray with some parchment paper and blotted my strawberries 1 more time to make sure they were as dry as possible before dipping them. This is a super important step, so make sure you aren't dipping any wet strawberries. To make the dipping process easy for me, I inserted 2 toothpicks on either side of the stem like so. I find that you need 2, 1 is not enough to hold it securely. I coated my strawberries by rotating and turning them like so, and once they were fully coated, I shook off any excess chocolate by twirling them. You want to have a smooth and thin layer of chocolate on these, otherwise they might look a little messy and be a little too sweet. I also removed a little more of the excess off whatever side would face the bottom so that the chocolate wouldn't pool when setting. I then dipped the strawberries into my cookie crumb like so. I made a little diagonal design by turning the strawberry on an angle to make them look pretty. For the smaller strawberries, I dipped them into the cookie crumb a little differently to make it a little easier for myself. I didn't film this, but I did bring my chocolate back to the heat 1 more time because it did start to thicken on me, which makes it harder to shake off any excess chocolate. So I would recommend keeping your water on a low simmer just in case you need to do this too. After all of my strawberries were dipped, I moved on to making my cream cheese glaze. I used 1/3 of a cup of cream cheese that was partially softened. I whipped it up until it was nice and fluffy and clump free. Mine took a little long just because it wasn't fully softened, so if you want to make this easier for yourself, set out your cream cheese for at least 45 minutes before whipping. When it looked like this, I sifted in 1/4 of a cup of powdered sugar and mixed it all up. And I also added 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla. I wanted the glaze to have a little bit of contrast, so I added in the tiniest bit of pink gel food coloring. A little goes a long way, so I would recommend using a toothpick for this unless you want a super vibrant color. After the color was evenly dispersed, I placed the cream cheese mixture in a piping bag and cut a small hole. When you're cutting your piping bag, always start small. If you need to cut more, you can always adjust, but if you cut too much off the bat, then you'll have a hard time piping with a large hole. I went ahead and added the drizzle to all of my strawberries, which was so fun and soothing. And remember, the drizzle is what's going to give these strawberries that cream cheese flavor, so don't be shy when you're applying it on. Before the drizzle set, I also added some gold sprinkles for an extra added touch. And then I just let these dry in the fridge for 40 minutes before plating them. And there you go. Here are my beautiful and delicious cheesecake chocolate covered strawberries. I love the look of them and they were a total hit with my family. Delicious. If you guys end up trying this recipe, let me know how it turns out in the comments, and I'll see you all really soon. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.